All right, everyone, welcome back to the Lethal Library. I am your host, Stephanie,
And I'm Dani.
and we are a true crime podcast. We discuss cases in Idaho and the Pacific Northwest. We do have a interest in death row cases, so that's a lot of what you'll hear, but they're not all death row cases. And today, Dani is going to be telling us another tale of crime in Idaho.
Yes, I am. What the fuck is going on in Northern Idaho in the 1980s?
That's a question that could be asked from a lot of people.
It's like the Wild West. Shootouts, home invasions, drug smugglers, and Russian spies.
Oh my
Hang
goodness.
on for an action packed what the hell is going on with these two brothers, James and Joseph Pratt. My resources for this story are several articles from the Bonner County Daily Bee, the Spokesman Review, and the Idaho Statesman, of course, as
Our
always.
favorite girl when it comes to knowing all the tea on these crazy criminals. Another brother's story. I'm in for it.
It's fucking okay. On January 11th, 1989, in Sagal, Idaho, Kathy DeTorres and her husband Pete were sitting on the couch relaxing when their daughter Angela said she thought she heard someone come through the front door. Kathy then heard a scream, and that's when she walked out of her bedroom. When Kathy walked out of her bedroom, she saw a man crawling into the room on his hands and knees.
Okay, creepy as hell.
He was dressed in black and carrying a gun. Creepier? Yes.
Terrifying at this point. We're now into horror movie zone.
She jumped behind her bedroom door and fell to the ground. The man came in and told her to get up and go into the living room, where Kathy saw another man. Kathy's son and nephew were asleep, and their daughter Angela ran back into the bedroom and locked the door. So there's a lot of people in this
Yeah,
house. So try to keep, there's a lot going on here.
not one I would choose to break into just because that's way too many variables. What are we doing?
Angela's boyfriend Sal Quigley was hiding in a bedroom and called a friend who then called the police. I don't know who phones a friend when there's masked gunmen in the house, but Saul was a kid. He was a
I
teenager.
think there's a point to be had there, though, especially if it was like a landline that you could hang up easily. Like if someone found you, I can kind of understand, like, hey, something's happening. Please get the cops here. Like, I would still try to call the cops myself, but at least they have a friend that's like, something's going on over there.
I do like that. Thank you.
And for clarifying.
When Angela had screamed, she woke up the two kids, and they had both come into the living room where they saw a man pointing a gun at Pete. The men made the children get on the ground, and then he taped everyone's hands.
Oh my gosh.
The men then searched the home and rounded up the other people inside the home. A total of 9 people were there.
I'm not breaking into that house. That is
9.
crazy.
Kathy said they kept asking where the safe was. The men were speaking in a foreign. One was called Hero and the other Rio.
Hero and Rio, those are so similar. Like, if those are your code names, let's use a little bit more imagination here.
One of the men grabbed Pete and took him to the home in search of money. Pete showed him where the jewelry was at, but the thief wouldn't take it. The
Hmm.
gunman wouldn't take it. The suspect gathered about $18 in change and a gun.
So, pretty pitiful haul for a robber. I mean, can you imagine if like this robber was a TikToker? Like, let's unbox my haul from my most recent job. $18 in change.
What?
One gun. It's not bad,
See?
right? That's all we got.
And I would just think with 9 people in the house,
Humiliating.
I bet you they hid the money from him. Anyway,
They're like, we got a jar of change. You're certainly welcome to it.
there you go, bud.
Wow.
One of the men told Pete he needed money to get out of town. And he kept asking for the safe. He wanted to know where the safe was. Law enforcement showed up and the men got agitated.
And get a little agitated.
Because Saul, he was making it happen. Saul said once they saw the police outside, he grabbed him at gunpoint and threatened to blow Saul's brains out to the officer.
Oh my, so now we have like a hostage situation?
The officer backed up. The men decided to flee and to take Saul with them.
Oh, what a nightmare.
Saul was still bound in duct tape when he was tossed over a balcony and fell about 15 feet.
Oh my God.
I shouldn't laugh because this would be very scary. But these guys are just comical.
Did they have no plan? It seems like they were just driving by and like, let's try a robbery for our first time. I've always wanted to do that. It can't be that hard.
Got some black clothes? Got a gun?
Show me the safe. Give me the loot.
While one of the robbers was handling Saul, he sat the gun down that he had found in the home. Mark Palyunuk managed to break out of the duct tape and grab the gun. A scuffle ensued and the gun went off. Mark was hit in the head and leg.
Dang.
So now they're shooting people. One of the gunmen was also wounded. As the two men were fleeing with Saul, one of them asked him to carry the wounded one. The Saul's like, no. I don't know if he said no, but he's still duct tape.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do? Now I'm aiding and abetting? Like, you guys really suck at this and you're trying to recruit right now? I don't want to be part of your team.
And this is Northern Idaho in January. Come on now. There's snow everywhere.
There's snow everywhere, and it's probably just colder than a witch's vajayjay.
They finally released Saul when they reached their car. Sheriff's Deputy Harvey Thompson chased the men. The pair ran through a roadblock near Sagal and crossed Highway 95 into a convenience store parking lot. They fired on Harvey's vehicle, shooting through the windshield and the grill.
And is Saul with them at this time?
No, they left Saul.
Oh, thank God, because could you imagine also being there like,
I don't want to be in a shootout either.
I told them I don't want to be part of their posse. I do not want to be here.
Yeah, he was just visiting his girlfriend.
This is awful.
And now they're in a shootout. No, they left him when they got in their car.
Thank goodness.
They're like,
Good for
okay,
you,
we got our
Saul.
cover. Bye. And he's probably like, thank God.
Yeah, I did not want to hang out with you guys.
Deputy Harvey was not injured. He returned fire and the chase was on again. They made it about 5 miles before the brothers' vehicle became stuck in a snowbank. The men then fled into the heavily wooded forest.
Oh, gosh.
Lots of forest up there, too.
And not habitable, like, unless you're... This is one of the things, like, you could probably put the wilderness in Northern Idaho on, like, Naked and Afraid.
Yeah. Probably not the most genius idea, but where else were they going to go? Police spent most of the next day searching for brothers James and Joseph Pratt. The police finally located the brothers around 5 o'clock that evening. They were in a ravine with authorities on both sides. So they were trapped.
They were stuck in a ravine.
When all of a sudden shots were fired. Surprise. U.S. Forest Service law enforcement officer Brent Jacobson and his partner Deputy Steve Barberi ducked for cover. When the gunfire ceased, Barberi crawled over and found Brent, 41, dead from a gunshot wound.
Oh, no.
Escalated.
Yeah. And I'm surprised they still have bullets, like, because they stole the gun, right? Do they have multiple guns?
Well, they had a gun when they came in.
Okay.
And then they stole a gun.
But there was shots. So this is just, you wonder. Anyway.
Max Singleton and his 2 sons, ages 8 and 13, were getting ready for dinner. A visiting neighbor pointed out the 2 men coming up the driveway. The neighbor asked the men who they were. They responded, "It's us. We're coming in."
Okay.
The neighbor was scared and ran out the back door. As they approached closer to the house, Max asked them what they wanted. Max said they asked for a ride out of the area. Max said, absolutely not.
I don't even know you guys. You said it's us? Who are you? What do you mean, us?
Then the pair asked if they could come in and get warm. They had tracked almost 7 miles through the rough terrain.
Oh, they're exhausted. I'm surprised they took the aggressive route right off. I mean, act like you're a lost hiker or your car broke down. Don't, it's us, we're coming in. Come on.
Well, I will tell you, Singleton's property up there was pretty vast. So, I mean,
Really?
hundreds of acres. I think
Okay.
it was like 180 or 200 acres up there. So, but Max responded only if they left their guns outside. They placed them on the windowsill outside the door. Max led the men into the kitchen and told them they ought to turn themselves in and offered to call the sheriff. Max dialed the sheriff himself. Meanwhile, the neighbor that had fled grabbed the guns off the windowsill and placed them in her car.
Good for you, girl. Get it. She was like, absolutely not.
No, we're
These are
not.
being confiscated right now.
Max noticed that one of the men had a bullet hole through his leg. Ooh. So 7 miles.
With a bullet hole in the freezing and not, this isn't like a beginner hiker trail that you're going to be on. It's going to be like brush and deep snow, and you're probably falling into snow, and just not a fun little walk. Not a hot girl walk.
And that probably was not thought out. No. It took 17 minutes for the authorities to arrive. If that gives you any idea of how far back they were in.
And probably very snowy conditions. I mean, someone was stuck in a snowbank. It probably, not easy to just zip on over.
So they were out there in the middle of nowhere.
I'm surprised that they found a way to get out. Like, I've been lost in the woods before, and you don't know if you're gonna find somewhere.
I'm going to have to hear that story someday.
I think you've heard it. We'll when we go on break, I'll remind you. Have I not told you this story?
So, no.
Okay. Should I tell it? Just tell it now.
Okay.
Okay. I'll give you the sweet and condensed version. So we are up almost to past Lowman, almost to Stanley. There's a big, there's some camping areas in there, and it's the Frank Church Wilderness of No Return, which is vast. This is only one piece of it. But we go with me, Rick, and Zach, and we've got 2 4-wheelers, and Rick wants to go up to Josephus Lake, and you guys can Google this on Google Maps and see how remote it is. Josephus Lake. And then there's other lakes that you can hike into. And Rick's like, it's just a mile hike straight in. And I'm like, sure, yeah. Like, I'm not even a huge fan of hiking, but I'm like, yeah, a mile, that's, a nice, easy walk. Well, we get up there, we park the 4-wheelers at the trailhead, which it's not even really a trailhead. It's like
You can't drive anymore?
no, you could definitely not drive anymore, but it's like a semi-used horse trail. Like, you can see the trail and then you can't see the trail, and then it picks up 20 feet that way several times. So we're going and it starts to get like super steep and kind of like treacherous, and I'm like, I don't want to go to this other lake that bad. You guys go, I'll stay here and read, because I had my book on my phone with me. So I have my phone with my book. There's no service at all. Cigarettes, lighter. I'm in leggings and a tank top. It was getting hot during the day. It was getting like to 28 at night though. So important for the story. Anyway, they're taking fucking forever. And I'm like, you know what? I can just go fishing at the big lake. Like, I'd rather just go down there. I'm just going to walk my happy ass back to the 4-wheeler, take it down back to Josephus Lake, because you have to cross the lake to get up to this trailhead. So I'm like, I'm going to do that. And I do that. And Rick makes sure to point this very important thing out every time I tell this story. There was a part where you really can't see the trail. And he's like, look at this and make sure that you know how to get back to the trail. I don't know if that's where I got off trail, but I thought that I had done that and save it to memory. So at some point I get off the trail and I'm like, this doesn't look right. Go back. And what's crazy is what your mind does to you when you have no other resources and you're by yourself. Because I probably went in circles there for 45 minutes trying to go up, down. Like, I'm going to just find this trail. I just need to stay in this area, find this trail. I could not find it. I had yelled, I had whistled, I have a really loud whistle, so does Rick. No response. And there was apparently no one else at Josephus Lake this day. I mean, it's not a very popular place, but I'm just like, oh, great. Another important note, this place was burned by fire really bad in the late 80s, early 90s, a catastrophic fire. And so there is still there's grass and stuff, but there's so many fallen, burnt trees that to walk, like I've gotten off the trail and now I'm trying to walk. I know which way I need to go for the sun, but I'm having to climb over trees and like walk down trees, and like some of them are burnt and then it's slippery and you fall off of the tree. Like it's like a mishmash of trees. So you're not just walking on some grass. It's very like extensive. And there's time when I stop and be like, I shouldn't go any further. There's times when I would stop and yell, and I'm like, finally, I start to hear the sound of water on my left side. And I'm like, if I just keep that on my left side, I know that I'm not going to go in circles. And I know that this is going the general direction towards where I need to go. So I'm just going to keep the water on my left and walk. So I go probably for hours walking. And then I see that I can see Josephus Lake. I'm like, I'm going to be fine. And there's this beautiful meadow with no trees that's just tall grass. And I'm like, fucking finally, I can just walk and walk kind of on the side of the lake. And I start walking and instantly up to my hip in water, like falling up to, there was canals through here.
Like a wetland.
Yes, there's little canals. And so then I end up just going all the way into the water and wading to where I need to get to the trailhead. And the trailhead was one of the hardest trailheads I've ever ridden up on a rig. And I've been on a four-wheeler all my life. It's one that has like rocks and tree stumps and everything. So I'm hiking up this thing because I'm like, I just got to get back to the four-wheeler. And I do have one of the four-wheeler keys as well. And then this is hours have gone by, probably like 6 hours. I know that Rick was busy looking for me. He was panicking. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to call Stephanie's family. I'm going to have to call the Forest Service. Zach starts coming down the trail in his little four-wheeler. And he's like, oh, I know where my dad is. I'm here. You take the four-wheeler back up to the other four-wheeler and I'll go get my dad. And I was like, sweet. So I get on our little four-wheeler. And like I said, it's a very challenging trail to get up on a four-wheeler. Like you have to kind of be standing up and balancing, and there's tree roots coming out, rocks and stuff. My right foot ends up getting hooked by a tree root and getting pulled under the back tire. So I'm like, oh, instant bail. That's your instincts. Like I fell off a four-wheeler before, but I'm like, nope, got to bail off or this thing's going to break my leg. I bail off and kind of turn around so I'm laying flat on my back, looking up at the sky, and the four-wheeler proceeds to run my entire leg over all the way up my body and abdomen. Thankfully, it stops and doesn't go tumbling off the side of the trail.
Oh my, I definitely have not heard this story.
I can't believe it. It's like one of the craziest stories that I tell.
Oh my God.
That I tell. So
Steph.
I ran over myself, which at this point I was so exhausted and like just mentally and physically. And I was so pissed off at myself for running myself over, and the four-wheeler stopped up
like,
there.
That really just fucked up my day. I
Oh,
just ran myself over.
Because I was finally like, okay, I'm going to be all right. And then I go and do something so stupid running myself. I was honestly like looking around like, God, if Rick saw that, I'm going to be so humiliated.
Nobody saw that, right?
Right.
Nobody saw that.
So I get back on, I go slower and make sure to make my way up to the four-wheeler. And then everything was good. We got together. Rick was very nice about it. Wasn't mean to me, but he was like, what the hell, but he was like, gosh, we were just worried. Like, I'm so sorry. I told him I ran over myself because after he got to get out all of his like, we were so worried, we did this, we looked over here. I was like, well, if it makes you feel better, I did run over myself. He's like, you what? I had tire track marked bruises up my body.
Oh my God.
They were very cute.
Steph.
But I made it. And so I know how crazy it is to be in a wilderness situation. And you doubt this is the 80s, the late 80s, right? So, they didn't have GPS or phone, but when you have your phone on you, I also lost my lighter at some point in this. So I'm like, I'm going to freeze to death. I'm going to freeze to death.
And also you couldn't even have a cigarette.
No.
Oh, that would even just make it worse.
So it was just like, you truly... You think that you'll have your wits about. I've been outdoorsy all my life. I've gone into remote places. But when you really can't find the answer, and that panic just kind of sets in, and there was no one. There was just no one. So
that is even scarier because you kind of like you're like, well, this is a recreation area, so
Someone's gonna come by.
somebody has to be out here. Um, that is no, I have never heard that story from you.
I can't believe it. But
We'll have to tell a story about one time when I couldn't find Rick and stuff and I was crying.
Oh,
I'm like,
God, no.
Anyway, so I still, yeah, that part. So
We weren't lost. We were broke down. So it wasn't the same old mistakes by Steph. I just
and
wanna
she didn't
quit.
get ran over,
No, thankfully.
but she did catch a guy shitting in the woods, which is fucking weird.
Okay, if we need to remember that. That's how it feels when you are in an unfamiliar place. So after 7 miles of them in the snow with a bullet wound, I can't believe they came up there with any aggression. I would have, you've got 7 miles to talk about it. Like say her car went off the side of the road. Say,
I kind of feel like they just had given up, almost like, hey, it's us. Like they just figured they were out. They were in shootout with a police officer. Like they're like,
you probably know, you
It's
probably heard
us.
about us from the town.
it's us. We're here.
Oh my goodness.
So it took the authorities 17 minutes to arrive. Max stated the men never threatened him. They were fucking exhausted.
They had no fight left to give. They needed Max's help.
And the brothers were arrested without incident. Fun fact. Max was home because he was on house arrest. In 1988, a major cocaine and marijuana trafficking organization operating in Northern Idaho was busted when federal and state agents arrested several men, including Max Singleton.
Okay, so you're a drug lord as well, Max. So the guns probably, he was like,
This dude,
part of my everyday business.
I'm telling you, this guy was the real deal. He had a fucking plane. He was flying to Canada and to Mexico.
It's like that movie where they get the guys with a private plane.
Yes.
Max.
So Max is like, I'm not even scared of you fuckers.
He's like, I deal with the cartel.
So shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
Just-
come in.
I
sit
could just
down.
totally, I just picture Max being like, yeah, you can come in. Just leave your guns outside.
Maybe his aura was just so much that they're like,
Yeah.
I don't feel like I can just run up with a gun on this guy. He seems, oof.
And the home invasion stuff was not working out for these guys anyway.
No, they already failed at that. They're like, that was a stupid idea. There was no safe. We got it done.
$18 and a gun.
Yeah.
Undercover agents had purchased 6.5 pounds of cocaine from Singleton over 3 years.
Why did this take 3 years, cops? I feel like the cops are like, we could get some free cocaine this way. Some
And-
discounted cocaine.
And I read tons of marijuana. Like, they just, yeah. So that's why I said this is a big spread. He was up there getting some shit done. He had his
Yeah.
plane. You know, he's taking his plane from
his
there.
private property that's expansive. Probably has his own airway, like
And very
runway.
close to the Canadians.
Yeah.
He's like, I can just fly up to the
He's like-
Canadians and get me some shit.
We're taking this international, baby. Mr. Worldwide.
Max does make a plea deal with authorities and is sentenced to 10 years without parole.
Okay.
I looked through him through the year, like trying to find like if he actually served all that time. I couldn't find anything. It was just a little fun side story that he was home because he was on home arrest.
Yeah, they came to a literal drug lord's house. He's like, yeah, the guns go on the
I
windowsill.
just think these guys need to rethink their criminal acts where they're just running into like drug lords out in the middle of nowhere.
Everybody's like, you amateur, you're trying to do a B&E on a house full of 9?
9 people?
First
Good job.
time. Gold Star participation trophy for
Jesus
you two.
Christ, these guys. James Pratt and Joseph Pratt are each charged with 9 felonies, including first-degree murder. The brothers initially were going to be tried together, but with motions from the defense they are separated. James Pratt's attorney, Jonathan Cottrell, along with the prosecutor, Philip H. Robinson, signed a stipulation for a change of venue or to impanel a jury from another county. We know how this goes.
Yep.
Both agree that a fair and impartial jury could not be found in Bonner County. And no, they were pissed. Like, I mean, in Idaho in general, we're very like, kind of stand your ground. This so home invasion, shooting a police officer, shootouts, and that small. Yeah. No, they were not going to get a fair trial. And as much as I'm like, ugh, but at the same time, it just takes.
They gotta do the forward thinking
because it takes away so many of the appeals later. Cottrell also files a motion to allow James Pratt to view the site of Brent Jacobson's murder. This blew my mind. The motion stated that Pratt would be chained or otherwise secured to a tree or appropriate fixed object within the shooting site, and all law enforcement officers at the shooting site shall withdraw behind hearing distance from the location where the defendant is so secured in order that the defendant may privately confer with his attorney and the attorney's assistants at said location.
What? So, like, we're going to bring this inmate out there so he can have a private chat with his attorney out in the ravine. This is the ravine, right? They need to have some private chat.
Private time.
Oh, this is so strange.
Let's just chain him to a tree.
Yeah, there's trees out there. Just chain him to a tree.
It did happen.
This is, you don't usually hear about this type of shit.
That's why I included it. I was like, that's odd. I was like, at first I was like,
yeah, weird request. They're going to shut that down. They're like, you know what?
All right. Let's go. You know what? Would have been great if law enforcement the whole time he's chained to a tree talking to his attorney, and the cops are like way off. If they just had the gun pointed at him with like that beam. So he just the light. So
just so he knew.
We got you, fucker.
Just so you know, we're here. Don't try to.
Got you.
Don't be trying to go down that ravine again. Because people will not allow it. And definitely don't try to go to the drug lord's house again. Because he knows who you are now.
I think Max is a cool cat.
I think he is too.
He's like
his own plane, his own very cool cocaine.
They're like, will you help us get out of here? And he's like, quoted, absolutely not. Like, I already got my own fucking problems, bro.
Now you're bringing the police to my house.
I got federal authorities on my ass for selling lots of drugs, and you're going to bring them out here.
Yeah.
Go fuck yourself.
This is actually really an inconvenience for me. I should just shoot you and bury you because I've had enough trouble with these.
You see my kids here? I'm just trying to eat dinner.
And you come up on my doorstep with your guns. I don't even have anywhere to put the cocaine I just brought here.
Quick question.
What?
How did they do a home arrest in 1989?
Did they have little bracelets?
I don't.
That's a great question. Did they chain you to a tree? They're like chains long enough to get into the house. Sit and stay.
Out in the middle of nowhere. They just have a chain going all the way to the police station in town. That fucker ain't going nowhere.
Maybe someone's just watching like the entrance and exit. But I mean, the guy has a plane.
I'm just saying.
They could sue.
Max, your fucking attorney was awesome.
This is straight out of an 80s like drug movie.
Yo, Judge, look, he could just stay at home until we sort this all out. Let's just stay home. He's going to stay home.
He promises. He will literally pinky swear you right now. He will pinky swear you.
And Judge's like, cool, done. Bye.
He's like, a pinky swear? All right, bro, put him up.
Can pinky swear.
Pinky swear.
Can we take a break?
Yeah.
Can you believe this shit? This
is literally a movie.
Can you believe this shit?
This happened in Idaho. Nothing happens in Idaho.
Who stumbles across a fucking drug cartel? Fucking
please help us.
We're shot. Oh, you know how this goes. I am shot.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers.
Vodka vodka.
Dingle dingle. In April, a request was submitted to combine the cases again by the prosecution. The defense attorney said it would be more practical to have a separate trial, but didn't object to the request.
All right. Whatever you want to do, your choice.
Judge Watt Prather agreed. Later in April, a change of venue was granted, and they moved the trial to Coeur d'Alene in Kootenai County. FYI, Judge Prather was brought out of retirement for the trial.
Damn.
Because the two other judges were disqualified by each attorney. Like, there was something, and I didn't.
Like some conflict of interest or something.
It had to be
maybe.
something like that. I'm like, I'm not digging into that.
Wow.
Yeah. So, good old retired
Coming
judge
out of retirement.
for this. And this is a big case.
Yeah.
On May 15th, the trial begins. They don't fuck around in the 80s.
No, they're like,
5 months later, you don't have your shit together. Tough shit.
get in here.
The trial begins with James and Joseph Pratt being tried for burglary, robbery, kidnapping, aggravated battery, attempted first-degree murder, and 11 counts of aggravated assault.
This is a long list of charges.
They had 9 people in that house.
And they did a lot of things.
It takes about 4.5 days to seat a jury, and the prosecution say they will ask for the death penalty.
Okay.
And killing a law enforcement officer is an automatic capital crime.
Mm-hmm.
Bonner County prosecutor Philip H. Robinson states that James Pratt was the man who shot Brent.
Okay.
So there was a lot of the appeals were trying to decide if he was actually a law enforcement officer or not.
Because he was Forest Service?
Yes.
In my opinion, yes. I mean, I don't know how it was in the 80s, but like if you do any poaching,
Fishing game, Forest Service, very scary. They can do
arrest you.
anything to you.
they can if
They can confiscate your vehicle.
your vehicle, your guns, anything you used in, like if you were caught for poaching or doing something like that, they can seize anything that you, if you brought animals to your house to cut up that you poached, they could potentially get your house.
Right.
Like
You don't mess with
their
fishing game.
law and
or...
they're enforcing laws, certainly.
Correct. Fun fact. The Pratt brothers used a Cuban accent when they entered the house on Comeback Bay in Sagal. Remember that
A Cuban accent?
hero in Rio?
This is so crazy to me. Did they also use it with Max?
There's no...
I wonder, because Max was probably like around that area of the, I doubt Colombia, or I doubt Cuba, probably like Colombia or just Mexico with his little plane
He's like,
getting cocaine.
you're white dudes from Michigan. Shut the fuck up.
Dude, you're from Michigan. Get out. Max probably speaks fluent Spanish.
Probably.
He's like, this is my literal job.
Yeah.
Please don't disrespect.
The defense attorney for James Pratt, Jonathan Cottrell, said that James is the man that killed Brent, but the shot was fired in self-defense.
I don't know how you're going to pull that one when you're resisting detainment.
Yeah. No, I'm what the?
That's never going to work. Even if it's like a plausible thing, like you don't get to defend yourself with a weapon.
His attorney said James was sleeping under a tree, dreaming about being attacked when he was fired upon.
It was the nightmare that got him.
The defense said they will not refute much of the prosecution's evidence, but will argue that Brent was not acting in an official capacity as law enforcement officer, and therefore it's not first-degree murder. Basically, yes, he did kill a police officer, but they did not know he was a police officer.
And he was having a bad dream about it.
Reasonable.
We know how bad dreams are.
I wonder if they came up with this defense while he was chained to the tree in the ravine.
They're like, this is gonna.
This is
What
gonna
if I
work.
was just sleeping?
And I wasn't really. I was having.
You ever had a bad dream before? And sometimes you wake up and you're like, haha.
You just wake up and shoot
And
people.
you wake up and start shooting. Anyways, I started blasting.
That's happened to me a couple times, actually. Sorry.
Shit, Dani.
The Comeback Bay home, owned by Louise Lee Turner, was targeted because Joseph Pratt had once worked for Lee, a tavern owner, and he believed large amounts of money was kept at her home. But Lee was on vacation when the home invasion took place. That's why they were searching for that safe.
So it seems like they had never even heard of a safe or anything. They're just like, she owns a business. She definitely doesn't put her money into a bank, which why wouldn't you? Owning a bar, did she?
Yeah. A tavern.
They're like, she has to have a huge safe full of money. Show us a safe full of money. Where is it?
They walked
She's
away.
like, it's deposited in the bank.
Yeah.
I pay taxes, bro.
I'm a legit business owner, bitch.
You should have went and saw Max.
I
Max
probably
has some cash. Not me. I just own a bar in Northern
I'm not
Idaho.
smuggling drugs. I'm legal.
Everyone knows Max is the drug smuggler. Go see Max. My gosh.
Joseph Pratt testified he fired his weapon repeatedly at police in an attempt to keep them from firing back.
You can't pre-shoot at police to prevent police from shooting at you. Like, that's not how any of this works.
This is shitty defense.
This is like what I hear people who think what like castle doctrine or stand your ground laws are. Like, they think this is it. Mm-hmm. This isn't it.
It's not it. He said he and his brother were hungry, tired, and freezy
Oh,
when they were in the woods after the Comeback Bay robbery. He said,
a baby.
I did a baby. I'm in the woods, alone and hungry. He said, quote, I couldn't go any farther. I had to stop. I couldn't feel my feet anymore. I couldn't feel the steps I was taking. I was starting to see spots in front of my eyes.
And I thought those were bullets, and so I just started blasting.
Bad dream. Hashtag bad dream. When they had stopped to rest, he was scared to fall asleep because he thought he might die of exposure. Valid.
Yeah, you might go to sleep and just keep sleeping forever.
This is quoted, I think I passed out more than going to sleep. Several times during his testimony, he bowed his head and appeared to be crying.
Oh.
I wonder if this is big brother, little brother, like the Langford brothers, like, we're going to do this.
I'm sure there was a certain, like, relationship and weirdness here.
Dynamic there that was like, yeah, we're going to do
I'd be so pissed at my brother if he took me to do a B&E on a family and was like, there's going to be a huge safe full of cash, like DuckTales. Like, we're just going to jump into a room full of money here. It doesn't
There's
matter.
going to be chests with gold coins everywhere.
Yeah, we have guns. What are they going to do? And you get there and they're like, we have $18, bro. Here's an old gun from our antiques. Like, I would be so pissed. I'd be like, you really dragged me into all this for what? I bet there was some conversations that were had on their many-mile hike of like
7 miles. Through waste, it was waste. Like,
I'd be pissed.
Joseph Pratt said he was wakened by the sound of police radios. He stumbled to his feet and heard, drop your weapons. He said he thought his brother was sitting down and he turned around to see where the noise was coming from. He saw a big silhouette in front of him and then felt a percussion on his right side. The noise pretty much deafened him in the right ear. James then raised his gun and fired at what he saw. Not a good plan.
Just start shooting at anything that moves.
When 3 more shots were fired towards him, he fired back again. Then he heard someone say, Steve, Steve. James then got up and began walking out of the area, and Joseph followed. Because Brent's partner was Steve Barberi. I don't know if I said his first name or not.
You did.
When James Pratt testified, he said they had no intention of killing anyone. They had went to the home on Comeback Bay to get money they thought was owed to Joseph by Lee, the tavern owner. He said he only shot at the deputy's car to disable it by shooting the radiator. Really? When approached by Brent and Barberi, James said he was asleep. He also heard "drop your weapons," and he claims he said "drop your weapons" back to whoever said it.
I mean, sure, if you're having a little nighty nightmare, I mean, you might think that that's going to be effective. No, you drop your weapons. You freeze. You hands up.
The home invasion? The shooting up of the cop car? What? You're upset about that?
I have unpaid wages and was just looking for the DuckTales room with all the money, as one does.
Quote, "It happened all in a matter of seconds," he testified. "I heard a boom and saw a flash off to my left. I didn't feel anything. I heard a really loud noise."
Loud noises.
I don't think they should have taken the stand.
No.
He then dove into the snow in front of him and drew his shotgun up and fired off a couple of shots. He said, quote, "I did it out of instinct, I guess, because I'd been fired upon. I just don't know what was going on yet. I was incoherent. I was not fully awake."
Were they using the Cuban accent, though? I don't even know how to imitate
I'm not
a
even going to
Cuban
try,
accent,
but
so
it'd be
I'm
really
not gonna
funny.
try, but are they like saying for them to drop their weapons in a Cuban accent? My goodness.
James Pratt is believed to have accidentally shot himself in the leg during the shootout.
So you're also shooting yourself. You're God.
He was incoherent and having a bad dream stuff.
This is literally the worst career path to be chosen for these two. They have sucked from the very first second
Find
all
another
the
job.
way through.
Find another job. Oh, it's so funny you said that because
Oh Lord, what is it?
it's going to be in a second. I gotta wait.
Okay.
Let's see if I could say this big multiple syllable word.
I have 100% faith in you.
Criminologist Galen Warren testified that at least 32 shots were fired between James and Joseph Pratt and the two law enforcement agents near Dover. Brent had fired at least 10 shots during the battle. Warren was retained by the defense attorney for trial. Warren went to the crime scene at Dover on March 17th to examine pieces of bullets, casings, and other debris left during the battle. This is fucking 2 months later?
Yeah.
There's still evidence just chilling?
Just sitting in the ravine?
Yeah.
Any police shooting now, they're like picking up a cat hair that's on the floor.
I think we got enough here. Let's go, Bob. Dinner's ready.
Like there's just way too many bullets. We've got 20 of them. Is that not sufficient?
It's cold out here. Snowy. We got most
in
of
a
it.
ravine.
I just was baffled. Evidence gathered by the FBI and Bonner County Sheriff's Office was also examined. The FBI left evidence out there? Stop.
Everyone was on cocaine. They're like, you know what? I actually have to go to Max's. It's a completely different investigation. I do need to stop by there. And so, guys, I would love to pick up these bullet fragments with you, but we're the FBI. We have a lot of things going on.
Gotta go check on Max's house arrest.
Max, are you at home? They just stop by once a day. You home?
You home? It's cold out here and we're picking up evidence. You know these fuckers. They came to your house. Those guys? Yeah. That's what we're out doing. Warren also testified it wasn't possible to determine from the evidence who fired the shot first.
Oh, no.
Not with 32 bullets.
They were surrounded
I even
by
kind of
law
even doubt
enforcement.
that now because, like, the guy just went out there and was like, let me just go.
Well, and they
I
found
wonder if
it-
they had to chain him to a tree, too. I'm just kidding.
Everyone gets chained to a tree because we cannot trust you in the ravine. But seriously, it sounds like they were both sleeping or not paying attention. So they were surrounded by, I wonder how many agents total. So if you're surrounded and they say, drop your weapon, drop your weapon. I know you had your little nightmare, but
It could be over. Actually, their whole life, that
once,
whole night.
once one person shoots in a situation like that, everyone's going to start Anyway, I started blasting.
Yeah. Well, it took him 22 hours to round him up.
Yeah.
22 hours. This was all going on until they came to Max's house. Idaho State Police Officer Terry Ford testified that he spoke with Barbary shortly after the shootout. Barbary said his service pistol had not fired during the gun battle. He thought it might have malfunctioned because his finger was on the trigger guard instead of the trigger. Whoopsie. I don't know if I would consider that a malfunction.
No, I think that's an operator error, but sure.
Sure. Dude, your partner gets shot because your finger,
That sucks.
The jury is sent to deliberate after 97 jury instructions are read.
They have to, and this is all the reason why there's jury instructions, because I think they're pretty lengthy even now.
Mm-hmm.
It's because that's one of the biggest appeal things. So it's one of those things where they're probably trying to stave off.
I'd be like, will you just give me the paper so I can read it?
Yeah.
Thank you. The 8 men and 4 women on the jury deliberated for 17 hours before they found the Pratt brothers guilty of murdering Brent J. Jacobson and 16 other charges.
That's one of the longest deliberations, but this case has so many moving parts, so many variables.
And so many fucking crimes.
Yes, so they have to determine for each crime, are they guilty? So that kind of makes sense.
James Pratt was found not guilty of the aggravated battery of Mark Polynuk. So the guy that broke free and was battling Joseph. They're like, oh, okay, we're not going to give you the battery charge on that one. And he's like, thanks.
Yeah, I was battered, but sure.
Thanks
What
a lot
else you
for
got?
The sentencing hearing takes place on September 12th. The prosecution is asking for the death penalty. Defense attorney Cottrell stated that the defendant has had a rather unremarkable life prior to his involvement with this crime.
Burn. This dude's boring as hell, but he did do a really weird crime.
He's a fat mouth. In November, James Pratt's sentence was handed down by Judge Prather. James Pratt was sentenced to death. His brother Joseph was sentenced to life in prison. A total count of sentences are that each brother received is a life sentence with 25 years minimum plus a 15-year enhancement for the use of firearms in the commission of a robbery. Each received 10 to 25 years on combined charges of kidnapping with a 10-year enhancement for the use of a firearm.
Damn.
Another 5 to 10-year sentence for aggravated assault on Bonner County Sheriff Thompson. 15-year fixed sentence for attempted first-degree murder of Deputy Barbary. Joseph Pratt received a life sentence for the murder charge of Brent Jacobson with 25 years fixed. Both brothers received a 15-year sentence for first-degree burglary with a minimum term of 10 years. Joseph Pratt was sentenced to 2 to 5 years for aggravated battery against Mark Polynuk and another 2 to 5 years on the 8 counts of aggravated assault against the 8 occupants of the Comeback Bay robbery.
This is a smorgasbord.
I had to write it all down. I'm just like...
No, and I was trying to write it, and
No,
at a certain point, I'm like, it's basically a cajillion.
they got convicted. The judge is like, you're convicted to a cajillion years, except for you, James.
We
Death.
did give you a break on that one, but
Death.
yeah, death for you. You're gonna have a cajillion. Minus, we didn't give you the, what was it, the battery? We did take the battery off.
You saved about 5 years.
That's like getting, if you ask someone for a discount, they're like, I could do 1%. You're like, okay, the purchase is $10. Like, oh, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Math. Science. Women in STEM.
Oh, shit. So in 1990, appeals.
F them appeals.
Was Brent Jacobson a peace officer? Did the brothers not have the mental capacity due to hypothermia?
You're joking.
No, for real. I was really cold, so I couldn't think straight.
It was chilly and I was napping and I had a nightmare.
What more do you want from me? James Pratt filed a petition on his own asking to replace Cottrell as his attorney.
Give me another try. This guy sucks.
James Pratt is asking for a Boise attorney, Philip Gordon, to replace his current counsel. The request for the new attorney is granted, but Judge Machoud appointed Bruce Green to represent him. Green was Joseph Pratt's attorney during the trial. I'd be like, are you fucking... We
just were there, now we're here.
My brother got convicted of all this shit too. Now you're going to give me that shitty attorney?
This is Northern Idaho. There's
probably 2
the
attorneys.
population is very sparse up there.
That's it. Like, you have your choice. These are your 2 choices.
Your brother got the other one? Well, now it's your turn.
In October, Judge Prather again denied the request for Boise Attorney Gordon due to the cost.
He's like, what do you think this is? The Ritz, Carlton?
No.
You don't give
We're
that
in
attorney.
Bonner County. We're not paying 80 county prices. Go fuck yourself.
You have a brother-in-law, sister-in-law that watched Dateline a few times. Put him up here. We'll get him in.
But he did give him a new attorney. He appointed Joan Fisher.
Okay. I mean, for the conflict of interest, I can understand.
Which, fair, because that just would have been more appeals later. Fisher said Attorney Green tried to negotiate a plea agreement for Joseph Pratt to the detriment of James Pratt. This was considered a conflict of interest. Nailed it. She also asked that James Pratt be moved back to Kootenai County to make it easier to communicate and attend hearings. Fair. Because they be all down in the Ada County prison. Been here. Joseph Pratt was denied new legal representation. Poor fucker. Nope. You get stuck with a guy who got you convicted of all this
You
shit.
get what you get and you don't throw a fit. I feel like that's what they're saying.
Judge Prather said there was not enough evidence to replace Green. How about the fucking 11 gazillion charges that he got guilty on?
You can't find one thing? You can't find one thing?
One. So remember, this is a retired judge.
He's like, listen, I've had enough.
He did say that actually. And so he's like,
I literally
I would rather
should
be
on a
fishing.
beach
Yeah.
with my ass in the sand right now. And you fuckers have me here in court because there's only one other judge in a 300-mile radius. I'm doing this to be nice.
That we're both.
That couldn't do it.
No.
He's like, anyway, move this along. I have golfing to get to, bro.
Quit crying and whining about your legal representation. I'm
Yeah, you
fucking
had a
busy.
nightmare. I don't give a shit.
In 1991, Judge Prather said the brothers should not have been sentenced on separate charges of robbery, burglary, and kidnapping.
Okay.
The defense motion said those charges were considered when the sentence of first degree murder. So like you can't.
So they're just trying to look at all the crimes and say that like these aren't, you can't do these at.
A defendant cannot be sentenced for both the greater charge and the lesser included charges.
I didn't know that. Because if you're robbing someone, I mean, that's a crime. You happen to murder someone, yes, but if you did rob them, they took the $18, didn't they? Why couldn't they have, see? They should have just cut their losses and said $18.
Shit. And they should have left Saul there.
Go ahead and keep it. We don't need the gun. We're not going to throw Saul off the balcony and then ask him to carry your dead uncle. Like, we're just going to, we realize there's not a room full of gold coins here. We were mistaken. We're just going to bow out gracefully and get a attempted burglary charge. Attempted. And they will have with a firearm, but.
Oh, these guys think that they're bigger than life.
They're Cuban accents.
They're Cuban. Bigger than life.
Are they like theater kids? What the fuck is this?
Besides the murder conviction sentences on 9 counts of aggravated assault, 1 count of aggravated assault on a police officer, and 1 count of attempted first degree remain in force against the brothers. This reduction will shave at least 55 years off of their time.
You know, I didn't think it would be that much, but I mean, I can see whether.
It's a lot. Well, they have a lot of time.
They're like, what can I chip away at? 55 years? That's ain't too shabby. Okay, I get it now.
Judge Prather is also reviewing the death sentence for James Pratt. Joan Fisher said the sentence that Joseph Pratt received was unfair compared to what James Pratt received. She said Brent Jacobson died after being wounded by one of the 2 shotgun blasts, and that it was excessive compared with the cases of the majority of murderers currently on death row.
Because they're going to bring up other case files and how they were ruled.
Fisher also argued ineffective counsel against Cottrell. I think that's a win.
Because, I mean, I think they almost always, that's a go-to.
Dude, no. Like, I got a great plan. I'm going to take you out by the tree and we're going to talk. And I just feel like, no, I feel like he was not a good attorney.
No.
And I didn't, from things I read.
There's not a lot of fish in the sea around here. So even, first of all, a public defender they just don't simply have the funding to, you're getting someone who is extremely overworked and extremely underpaid regardless. And then you're going to throw a death row case at them when they've been trying to fight traffic tickets and maybe like a simple assault, like.
Right.
So, yeah.
After consideration, Judge Prather upheld the death penalty for James Pratt.
Mm.
He said it was James Pratt's idea to take arms and travel from Missoula, Montana to Sandpoint to commit the robbery to try and get the $200 the Pratt said was owed to Joseph Pratt.
This was over $200 in supposed unearned, ungiven.
That Lee owed him. Yeah, the tavern owner.
Approach her in the bar. You know what's in the till. You know they probably have a safe in the restaurant.
I bet you everybody in that tavern was packing.
Oh, yeah. You're right.
So,
They're not going to.
But, oh, and Lee was on vacation. They probably got here. They could have went to the bar. And then been like, oh, shit, she's not even here.
But strong arm your way to you know how much money's in the till on a Saturday night. I'd bet your $200 would have been there.
50% of those men in there were packing, if not also women.
Just act like you're working. Be like, ring up a few drinks.
Well, it was already done. He was living in Missoula.
I would have came back and been like, yes, I still work here.
I feel like there was some drugs involved.
Drugs.
Bro, you know how we could get more drugs? That lady owes me money.
And she owns a business, so she has a room full of cash.
Let's go. The safe
There's like, we're going to be rich. Let's go.
In another appeal in October, Fisher said the bailiff commented to the jury about illegal activities that James Pratt had been involved in before the shooting. Stop.
Did
Barney. Stop.
Barney the bailiff. What the hell? Barney Fife. Stop.
They're asking for a new trial for the death sentence to be thrown out, but it is upheld. The bailiff shouldn't have said that,
No, you don't. That's not your job.
but he ain't lying.
But a bailiff would be a sweet job in any cases, like civil cases against people. I'd love to be a bailiff because you're the one that gets to take things up to Judge Judy, and
You
you
get all the
say,
dirty,
"Hey,
too."
no, you're gonna sit in your spot." Oh, stop! You see, you get to say that when the judge is like, "No, I'm about to hold you in contempt," but you just get to stand there and watch, and be like protezione for the judge.
Probably feels like a big deal. But you cannot speak to the jury
No,
because he wasn't lying. Are you ready?
that would be tough for me though. So not, I'd be like, did you see his face when they just said these charges? Did you
Yeah.
guys catch that? Okay, just check in.
Be professional. Because in 1980, we're going to do a little throwback for you here. In 1980, convicted U.S. spy Christopher Boyce escaped from the federal penitentiary in Lompoc, California. During his 19-month escapade, he was out holding up banks in the Pacific Northwest. Boyce and his boys robbed 8 in the state of Idaho, 5
Oh
in
my-
Washington, and 1 in Montana. 3 brothers directed federal agents to a drive-in in Port Angeles, Washington, where Boyce was recaptured in 1982. The brothers Joseph, James, and Brett Pratt were awarded immunity and over $25,000 to testify against Boyce.
You're kidding me. So they are just little snitches. They had done some successful bank robberies and they fumbled the bag so badly.
But he's led an unremarkable life until this point.
A little remarkable.
Fuck you, Cantrell. What a fucking idiot. Remember he said that in court?
Yeah.
It's like, he's lived. No. He helped federal agents capture an escaped fucking spy.
Spy. That's why I was so waiting. When you said there was Cuban accents, I was like, okay, you said something about Russian spies. I thought these guys were going to be Russian spies that lost their way and decided to try a life of crime in a county that most people will shoot them dead for looking at them wrong. No, this is a twist and turn that I did not see coming.
Gotcha, fucker. The brothers met Boyce at a cabin in northern Idaho where the escapee had been hiding out. The immunity is in part for Brett being the getaway driver in at least 6 of the robberies, and he was responsible for the 7th holdup, and James Pratt was involved in the 8th robbery. It is unknown what Joseph's part were in the robbery.
Tag along. There for emotional support.
They got over $25,000, so there was a small reward of a couple $100 that they were awarded.
They went from robbing banks to trying to do a holdup for a small business owner. And they're like, in the bank, we asked to go into the safe. So in the house, we'll just ask to go into the safe, right?
I think they were delusional because they got away with those. I think that there was
And
a
on
lot
heavy
of
drugs. They're like, just like a bank, they've got a big safe.
drugs. So the money was amazing to me because it wasn't all reward. So basically, the federal agents were like, we don't want you to get jobs. We're just going to put you up. They like paid for a place for them to live and their medical bills and gave them money for food and stuff. But it was over $25,000 plus immunity.
And then they tried it in the most ridiculously unplanned, non-strategic, non-logical way and froze in the wilderness for many, many hours. almost a day. They took dumb to a whole nother. You got a free pass.
And they fucked it up.
Get out of jail free card. And then you chose to try to rob someone who owns a small bar in Northern Idaho. Loser. Dani. This seems made up. I cannot believe this.
My mouth is dropping. In 1992, the Supreme Court stays the execution of James Pratt for mandatory review. We know how that goes.
Yep.
In 1993, the Idaho Supreme Court voided the death penalty for James Pratt.
Okay.
The court stated the execution was a harsher penalty than Idaho judges have imposed on other convicted murderers under similar circumstances.
And that happens.
Chief Justice Charles McDevitt said the death penalty was excessive since Pratt had not had a prior record of violent conduct.
Sure, since he got immunity, he has no record for that. I mean, but we all know he was involved. Anyway.
But also, let's go back to judges can't hand down the death penalty. Only juries can. James Pratt will be resentenced. In 1994, fucking retired Judge Prather.
He's sick of
Like,
y'all. Y'all have pissed him off.
I should be fishing.
He's like, I should have never even came out of retirement. I should have said, I'm on a beach. I'm unreachable.
But I don't even know how this whole works. I did not want to dig deep into it, but he denied a request to disqualify himself from resentencing James Pratt.
He's like, no, you already fucked up my first 5 years of retirement.
I'm finishing this job.
I'm here to get it done. I was scheduled to be in Jamaica for 2 years, you fucks. You took away my Jamaica years. So yes, I'll be there. What a petty Betty. Love him. Love him.
Prather resentenced James Pratt to a fixed sentence of 25 years without the possibility of parole for felony murder. That sentence will be served consecutively with several others, which is at minimum of 80 years.
So sure, you're done for.
In 1997, Joseph Pratt is awarded a new trial for ineffective counsel and for the damn bailiff talking to the jury.
Bailiff, you really let us down here. I can understand how tempting that is, but
during a dinner break with the jurors, bailiff Lou Boyles, God damn it, Lou, had told the jury the brothers had been involved in bank robberies throughout the country. And he said,
he was about that gossip. He was like, can I chat with you guys? I'm so interested in this case. He's like us, but they said there's a consequence here.
I just have to tell you. And he does say this. He said, if it was up to me, the deliberations would only be 15 minutes.
That's not. Lou. We love that you love the tea, Lou. And maybe if podcasting would have been a thing at that time, you would have had your calling.
But you wouldn't have been a bailiff, so you'd have to do the fucking research.
You can't be sipping the tea with a jury.
In 2014, Joseph Pratt loses his 8th appeal. This is what's ridiculous. Appeal. In 2021, both brothers are released on parole.
That seems like a weird job.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Released to just be on parole?
They're on parole.
Has it been enough years that they were eligible?
Well, it surely hasn't been 80.
I know, I'm like, I wasn't going to try to math like you would really rush in. I'm like, I cannot carry the one at this point. So, James and Joseph, what are you doing? What are you up to? Do you have a Facebook? Oh, they're pretty popular names, but there's tools.
They're in their 60s now.
A lot of 60-year-olds are on Facebook. They love that shit.
And all the neighborhood groups. Yeah.
Any neighborhood groups? Hey, next door. Is there some popular influencers on Nextdoor that can help us with this? What the hell?
Can you believe they got out? Like, that was a huge, like, a lot of crimes. A lot of crimes.
Yeah, so even if you're not guilty of these two, there's these other 17 that you did do.
Home invasion.
You did do that.
2 fucking shootouts with police.
You did do that. This is wild, Dani. I cannot
And you
believe
throw fucking Sal over the balcony, you
Poor
bitch.
Sal. He just wanted to make out with his girlfriend real quick. He's like, you want me to carry someone? You've taped me. You've thrown me out of a balcony, and now I'm supposed to be part of your gang? I don't like you guys.
I don't. My girlfriend's screaming and crying in the
The
house.
whole family, the kids are traumatized.
Mark shot.
You guys have these weird accents. Cuban? What a specific accent for someone in Northern Idaho to even know what a Cuban accent is like. I could understand like a Mexican accent.
Oh, when was the movie really? Scarface.
Say hello to my left friend. And that's a terrible, what Cubans say is that he's a terrible accent.
But they probably watched
But
that
it's
movie.
so iconic.
I could see him watching that.
They watch
They watched that so many times.
Al Pacino, look what you have done to our great state of Idaho.
Right? That movie was out.
They're like,
Yeah.
no, and then they stumble upon Max, who's a drug lord.
And he's like, "Are you fucking jokers? Are you kidding me?
He's like,
Leave the guns outside. Come in and call the cops because
it's like he's dealing with a toddler.
Yeah.
Max is like, okay, kiddos.
come in,
I
sit
did
down.
try to
I'm
do
gonna call the
crimes."
police for you, and then
They're gonna come pick you
they're
up,
gonna come
okay,
pick you up,
honey?
okay?
Okay.
All right.
Good story, sis. Thank
you.
This was a fucking roller coaster. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Dani finds some of the coolest stuff to talk about and some of the like craziest details. So we
And I
gotta
wish
give
you
a round
guys
for
could
Dani.
see my face when I find these details, and I'm like,
A Russian spy?
what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, no way. Oh my God. So, thanks for listening. Please find us on social, like, follow, and subscribe.
We have figured out TikTok for the most part.
We posted one.
We hope to bring you some more silly content and also just like the fun clips. But
Because this is fun for us. We have
Yes.
fun. We giggle. We laugh. And so we're stuff's including some of the
bloopers. Our most recent episode has some bloopers. What case is it? Hall. We kept some bloopers in just so you guys, and trust me, for that one that you saw, there's usually 15 to 20 bloopers where we just stumble over our words
But I'm very grateful that Stephanie has her emotional support purse.
Wait.
I don't know if she could make it without it.
Luckily I have Paris.
Oh, I love it. We appreciate you guys listening, and any feedback,
We're down.
shoot us an email at thelethalibrary@gmail.com. Post on our socials.
Repost. We love a repost. Thank you guys that have been doing that. That's amazing.
Thanks for showing us some love.
Love you.
All right, have a good night.
Peace. 10-4 rubber ducky.
Fuck yeah.